Hello, I'm Mark Lauterbach, the Chief of the Westminster Police Department, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about something that's been on everybody's mind lately, the George Floyd incident and law enforcement. To say that I haven't lost sleep over this, or this hasn't been on my mind since the date that it happened, would be false. Not a day goes by that I don't think about how we as law enforcement and here in Westminster can do our jobs better when it comes to serving the community and providing service with integrity. Are we perfect? No. Are we striving to be perfect? Absolutely. And it takes incidents like this to make us look back and reflect on the things that we're doing in our profession and things that we can be doing better. And as the chief, I have to look at where does this all start? And it starts in the very beginning. It starts in our hiring process. We are governed by the state of California through police officer standards and training post on the rules and regulations and the requirements that we have to follow when it comes to doing background checks on our police officers. They come down and they audit us every year on those officers that we've hired during the year to make sure that we followed the guidelines and the background check was done completely and thoroughly. But as a chief, I have to wonder, is that enough? Do we need to start looking at how they were raised, the environment that they were raised in, not just who they are, but where they came from? When we're hiring somebody who's 25 years old, obviously they're older, they're mature, they possibly living out on their own and have been living on their own for several years, and that's what we're looking at. But do we need to go back and look at how they were raised as a child, their younger years? What family life did they have growing up, and can that give us a better look into the future of what this officer is going to be like in 5 to 10 years when they become comfortable in their profession? And historically, mistakes can be made once we become complacent and we're comfortable. That's something that needs to be reviewed. The other thing is our supervisors. Our supervisors respond to calls for service that are high priority calls, like in progress calls, major traffic accidents, to supervise and oversee those scenes. But maybe they need to start going to report calls, those calls where you're making traffic stops, citizen contacts, your pedestrian stops, things of that nature, to make sure that the officers are providing quality service, treating people with dignity and respect, and doing the job that's expected of us, not only by us as an organization, but by you as a community. Here at Westminster, we're very fortunate when it comes to training. We have a very large training facility on the other side of town, which is available to us 24 hours a day. And inside this training facility, we have what's called a mat room, which is basically a large wrestling room with a padded floor where we can practice our arrest and control techniques. We can practice our de-escalation skills by having somebody come in and act as a combative or uncooperative individual. We also have the opportunity on a big screen TV to review calls for service. In this day and age with the internet, there's a lot of things that are captured and put up online through YouTube or even just through Google on social media, where we can watch other agencies throughout the state, throughout the nation, that have done things right or that have done things wrong. And we can pretty much Monday morning quarterback any type of call for service and figure out where that call started to go wrong, what actually was the whole reason why the call went wrong, and what we can do if we were ever focused or ever challenged with a call like that to not make those same mistakes. In March of 2018, we started with our body-worn cameras, where we are able to capture on every single call the officer's point of view and what that officer faces, how they're treated by the community, and what decisions they made and their actions out there in the community. Our sergeants are required to audit those body-worn cameras on a continual basis, not just specific calls for service, but we have a computer program that randomly picks calls for service to make sure that we're looking at different types of calls, different officers and different actions that were taken to make sure that our officers are treating people with dignity and respect and are providing the style of service that people in our community have become accustomed to here in Westminster. And as the police chief, do I have all the answers? No. Does my deputy chief or the officers have the answers? No. But working together with the community, I believe we can come up with the answers and come up with the solutions to work together to provide great quality service to the community that expects that of us. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm reforming the Chiefs Advisory Committee, and that's going to be made up of business leaders, it's going to be made up of residents, our religious leaders, as well as those who come into our city and shop. Now, people who come into the city might not necessarily live here, but we value their opinion because they are part of our community. Coming to the Little Saigon area, coming and viewing some of our memorials here in the city, or just coming to engage in the parks because their children or their adult sports programs take place here in Westminster. Everybody's input is important to me. It doesn't matter if you live here or if you own a business here. If you're here in the community, you are important to me, you are important to my organization, and I want to hear what you have to say because it's your voice that needs to be heard. We provide a service to the community, and any business owner knows that if you're providing service to somebody, you want to have a good review. And we provide service to the community. The community are our customers, and we want to hear what you have to say. Starting the Chiefs Advisory Committee and getting out into the community and engaging the public, that's a high priority for me. And your voice is important to me, and I want to hear it. Now I just want to talk a little bit about what our officers have been challenged with and some of their accomplishments over the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years, we have responded to 385,286 calls for service. Out of that large number of calls for service, we have received 42 citizen complaints. Out of those 42 citizen complaints, only 2 involved complaints of racial bias or discrimination. Because of our body-worn camera, the allegations made against those officers were proven false. The entire incident, the contact between the officer and the citizen was captured on the body-worn camera, and the things that were alleged against the officer were absolutely false because we had video evidence to prove that the allegations simply did not exist. We've had 30 taser deployments in 5 years. That's 6 a year. We have used our canine 4 times to assist with the apprehension of a suspect. We've had 0 deaths, 0 officer-involved shootings, and 0 uses of force resulting in great bodily injury. Now, anybody who crunches numbers or likes to play with stats knows that those numbers are amazing. And it shows what a great job the officers are doing out there on the streets, dealing with the high volume of calls, the number of contacts they come in with individuals on the streets, and their ability to de-escalate and take control of the situation without using force to gain compliance. Is it perfect? No. Are we perfect? No. Can it be better? Absolutely. And that's what we're striving for. Always striving to be better. I've never been more proud of the men and women of this police department than I am today. Looking at the challenges that we've faced based off the number of calls that we go to and the number of uses of force or citizen complaints, it's amazing. Those numbers are better than most departments throughout the nation, throughout the state, and even here in Orange County. I've been in law enforcement for 27 years and I've been in this city for 51 years. And I can say this without a shadow of a doubt, our officers, your officers are doing the job right. But we can be better. We're human, we make mistakes, but the thing is we own up to our mistakes. And we look at where we went wrong and what we can do to make it better. And that's where the community comes into play. Our officers don't know when they leave for work, is that the last time they're going to see their loved ones? Is that the last time their loved ones are going to see them? Our job is difficult every single day, and no 2 days are the same. Our officers don't come to work every day because they're going to get rich, because there's a bonus at the end of the day or at the end of the month or at the end of the year. They come to work and they do their job because they love community, they love people, they love what they do, and they want to make a difference. And that's where you come in as a community. You can help us make that difference. Not one individual is going to have all the answers for all the problems, but collectively as a group, we can help solve those problems. We can help find solutions. I've always said, I don't know what problems are until somebody tells me. and it has to do with communication. And that's where it needs to start. So that's what we want to do moving forward, is work with the community, listen to the community, and have a lot of community engagement, not only through the things that I've talked about with the Chiefs Advisory Committee, but also getting out there and engaging the officers and engaging the community, finding out what you need from us, what you want from us, what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. That's my promise to you as the police chief. That's my guarantee to you and my officers' guarantee that we are going to work with the community, that we are going to make this place a better place to live, work, and play, and that everybody in this community will be treated with dignity and respect. And like the side of our cars say, our motto, service with integrity, that's what we will strive for every single day.